Hi guys, I'll be telling you about the add-on modules of Fedena today. So the add-on modules are the functionalities that are besides the basic functionalities that we have in Fedena. So we have around 33 plugins which are also known as add-on modules, and we are going to look at them one by one today. So when you log in into Fedena, you will see this dashboard. This is known as a dashboard, and you will see these boxes here. These are known as dashlets. Now this interface is coming for you because you have enabled data palette plugin from the accounts.fedena.com. So this is one of the plugins, which is data palette. Because you've enabled that plugin, so it is showing you these dashlet, and each dashlet that you see here is giving you some information about your school or about your institution. The second plugin that we are going to see is theme. So for that we have to go to settings, administration, we have to go to settings, and here general settings. And you will see this option of selecting themes. As in when you select one, the color of Fedena will change. Similarly for the font. So you have these options of fonts available, and you can select the one that suits you. So this is the second plugin. The third one is Moodle. So here you will see that you are getting an option to enter Moodle URL. So that is the URL of where the Moodle is installed on your server. So if you go to the site moodle.org, you will see you can download the version of Moodle and you can install it on one of the servers. And that URL of the server you have to give here. So this is the Moodle plugin. Once you've integrated Moodle with Fedena, or you've given the correct URL here, whenever you add a student in Fedena, the same will be added in Moodle automatically. So the student need not have a separate account for Moodle in this case. Then you will see another plugin called Mobile. So mobile version of Fedena is available, and you have a good set of functionalities that you can do using the mobile version as well. So the interface of Fedena is configured for your mobile as well when you enable the mobile plugin in Fedena. The next plugin that we are going to see is Gallery. So for Gallery, you have to go to Collaboration, and you will see here this option Gallery. So as an admin of Fedena, or as anyone who has gallery privilege, I can add a new photo. So for that, before I have to create a new category. So I have to give the name of the category. For example, I have given few names like Teachers' Day, Independence Day, Christmas celebrations, New Year event, like that. And inside this category, I'll be able to add photo or delete it. So this add and edit and delete options will only be coming for the admin and not for all the users. Other users will only be able to view the photos that you put here. Then the next plugin that you will see in your account is OAuth. So here you will see when you enable OAuth from your account and you have done the plugin settings in your SaaS panel, you will get this link here, sign in using your Google account. So all the users in Fedena, be it the admin, the student, the employee, or the parent, can log in using their Gmail account if the two settings that I just told are done properly. So the first setting is you have to go to your accounts.fedena.com, log in with your username and password as provided by support@fedena.com. You have to come under company here and go to plugin settings and Google OAuth. So you have to generate the key and secret. For how to generate this, you can visit our portal, support@fedena.com, and you can search OAuth. And you will get a series of steps that will help you generate key and secret, which you are supposed to put here. Once you've saved it, you can go to your school. Let's say this is my school. You can go to Plugins, Edit, and check OAuth from here. Once you've done this, you will be getting this link, sign in using your Google account, and you'll be able to log in with Google account as well. So this is the OAuth plugin in Fedena. The next one is OAuth to Provider. You will see here this plugin which is OAuth to Provider. If you enable this from here, you're going to get this link under Administration, Settings, Manage Clients. So this is the link that will be enabled when you check OAuth to Provider from accounts.fedena.com. So the use of this Manage Clients is that you can allow a third-party application to access Fedena data. I'll just give you a scenario. For example, let's say you're using a third-party software which takes the attendance of the students and you want to integrate that with Fedena. So in that case, you have to click on New, and you have to register that application with Fedena by coming to Configuration. So click on New and give the name of that software, that third-party application, give the URL of it, and whether it is verified by Fedena or not can be checked from here. So once you do this third-party application, which in your case, let's say, will be attendance software, will be able to access Fedena data. So now let's say you want to even interface that third-party application, or you want to show it to the users in Fedena. So what we have done till now is we are only allowing the third-party application to be able to access Fedena data. We are not showing this third-party application to the users. But let's say we want to show it. So we'll get this link here, Apps. And under Apps, you're going to get this Manage Apps. This Apps tab will be coming only when you have enabled App Frame plugin in Fedena. So once you enable this from your account, you will get this Apps tab appearing here, and you have to go to Manage Apps, and you have to click on New. So what do you want to show to the user? You can write here. This is the name of that third-party application, the URL or the first page of it. Do you want to open it inside Fedena, or do you want to open it inside a new tab in Fedena? And the client that we just created will appear here. And then who all should be able to see this ABC application? You can check that from here. So once you've done this, let me go to this Apps. You will see that this admin, student, and employee, the people or the users who are given privilege will be getting this link, which is ABC, which is the name of my third-party application. And when I open it, I'll be able to see the interface of that third-party application. So this is how you integrate the third-party application with Fedena. That application may be using Fedena data or may be independent. So the step is that you have to create client by going to Settings, General Settings, and Manage Clients here. And the second step is you have to go to Apps, Manage Apps, and create the name of the app, the URL, and who all should be able to access it. So this is about OAuth 2 Provider and AppFrame plugins in Fedena. The next plugin that we are going to see is Big Blue Button. So to see Big Blue Button, you have to go to Collaboration and Collaborate. So I'll just tell you the use of Big Blue Button first. Using Big Blue Button, you can schedule online video conferencing in Fedena. So for that, you have to go to bigbluebutton.org site. And here, a demo will be available for you. You can try that demo, and the same one will be appearing in Fedena. So you have to install Big Blue Button in one of your servers. And when you install Big Blue Button, you have to go to Servers and register that server with Fedena. So click on New Server, give the name of the server, URL of the server, and the salt ID that will be provided to you by Big Blue Button when you download it on the server or install it on the server. Once you've done that, you can create the online meeting by clicking on New, give the name of the meeting, select the server that was just added by you, and select the participants. So the employees and the courses, and the date and time of this meeting. So this is about video conferencing using Fedena. Then we have Pay plugin of Fedena. So here we have Pay option. So when you've enabled Pay plugin in Fedena, the students or the parents of the students will be able to pay online using the two payment gateways that are available. Before that, the admin has to do some settings. So he has to go to Administration. He has to go to Online Payment and Settings. And here you can select for what all models the online payment should be enabled. Like in this case, when the student is paying fee, or he's registering online for a course, or he's paying hostel fee, or he's paying transport fee, he will be able to pay online using the gateways PayPal or Authorize.net. So if you're registering with PayPal, you have to give the PayPal ID that are provided by them. If you're registering with Authorize.net, you have to give these two fields that will be provided by Authorize.net. So once these settings are saved properly, let me log in as one of the students and show you how he can pay. Or the same interface will be available for the parent, of course. So I'm logging in as one of the students, and to see my fees, I'll be going to my profile, and under more, I will have fees. And you will see this link is coming. So this is the fees that I have to pay. So here you will see this option of pay fee that is appearing. It is appearing only because online payment is enabled. If online payment is not enabled, the student will not be given an option to pay fee. So when the student or the parent of the student is clicking on it, it will redirect you to the gateway as it is set by the admin of Fedena. For example, like this. So from here on, the payment can be carried on. Now let me tell you about another plugin, which is Blog. So admin can go to Collaboration and go to Blog. And he can view the blogs that are posted by the users. So these are the users that I have in Fedena, and anyone, be it a student or an employee, can post their blogs. But admin will not be allowed for blogging. So you will observe when I click on my blog, it gives me a message here, administrator cannot participate in blogging. So let me log in as one of the employees and show you how blogging will be done. So this is one of the employees, and the employee has to go to collaboration and blog, and he can go to settings to create his blog. So this is like the logged in user is creating a blog. So it's a unique name that has to be given by the logged in user. And then whether he wants to publish it or not can be checked from here. So like this, any user can create a blog. And once you've created the blog, you can create posts inside the blog. So you have to click on new post here. Give the title, give the body, and either publish it or save it as draft for later publishing. So once you do this, this will be available for all the users in Fedena. And then you will see this tab here, which is activities, which shows you who has commented on your posts, who has favorited your post, and on what date. So this is about blog in Fedena. Then let me tell you about assignment module. So I've logged in as an employee. So this is the employee. And this employee, let's say I've associated him with the subject in Fedena. So since I've associated this employee with the subject, this employee will be able to assign assignments to the students. So he will have this link under academics, which is assignment. And here you will see that the subject that is assigned to is coming along with the batch in which he's assigned that subject. So let's say he wants to give assignment for this history subject. And this will be empty for the first time. So you can create a new assignment by clicking here. Give the title. Select the subject for which he is assigning and the students. And if the content is longer, he can even choose to attach a file. And then what is the due date of submission of this assignment can be selected. It is by default 1 week from now. It can be changed. So this way I can create an assignment. Now let me log in as one of the students whom I have assigned this assignment. And the student can go to academics, assignment, and you will see that this assignment, new assignment that I just assigned, this is the due date. I can click on it to see the details, and I can answer this assignment as a student. And I can put the relevant data here along with the fact that I can attach a file. And then the teacher who assigned will be able to accept the answer of the assignment. So the teacher can either accept the answer or reject the answer. Once the answer is accepted, the student will not be able to edit the assignment. If it is rejected, he will be able to edit the assignment and submit again. Please note that you are not going to find assignment link when you log in as an admin. So assignment option will only be coming to the teachers who are associated with the subject. The next plugin that we are going to see is discipline. So for that, we can go to academics, we can go to discipline. So discipline module is used when a student is complaining against another student because of some discipline issue. So in that case, the student has to log a complaint with the admin. So the admin will be getting an option here to create a new complaint. So the admin can fill in the title, the description, the trial date, and the persons involved. So complaint by can be a set of one or more students. Complaint against can again be a set of one or more students. Jury would be the employee who will be taking decision on the discipline, and responsible office officials would be the ones who can comment on this discipline issue. And in case there are more details to be attached, it can be attached from this option. So this way, the admin can take the complaint, and this E1 employee or the discipline admin will be able to close the issue. And all these participants of this complaint will be able to comment on this discipline issue. So here, for this E1 employee or for anyone with discipline privilege, he'll be able to close this issue. He has to fill in the verdict, the comments related, and the convicted users. If there are more than one, he can check that from here and close the issue. So this is about the discipline module in Fedena. So the next plugin that we are going to see is data management. So we have to go to data and reports, and here data management. So data management is used when you want to keep, manage any kind of data, basically for record keeping. Let me just show you some data that I've put in. For example, I've created a category called computer lab. This is custom created. And I've put in some data which says the employee ID and the computer that is assigned to that employee. So I've filled in these entries with the employee ID and the computer name, and I can take a printout of it. So I'm keeping records in data management. So in the same way, I'll just show you how I created this computer lab. You have to click on New, and you will be asked to fill in the name of the category, which is computer lab, any description. And then you have to create fields like I've done, employee ID, which is a text box, computer name, which is a text box. So I can add in fields here. So once I've done this, that category will be appearing here, and I can click on New Entry and fill in details like, let's say this is the employee. And I can say this is the computer that is assigned. So I'm keeping records like this. So this is about data management. Then we are going to see some finance related plugins now. So we have to go to administration, finance, and fees. And under fees, you will see fee imports as one of the plugins. Fee import is used when there is a student who is joining a batch after the fee collection of that batch is already scheduled. So what happens to this new student is that he'll not be automatically assigned the fee collection. So in that case, you have to select the batch in which you just entered the new student in Fedena. And for that student, let's say this is the student. And for this student, you will observe that the fee collections will be shown like this, which are not applicable. So you will see these boxes will not be checked. So you have to check the fee collection that is applicable to this new student and assign it. And then collect the fees from this student. So this is very handy when a student is joining late in the institution or in a batch. So this is about the fee import plugin. The next one is instant fees. Instant fee is any fee that is besides the normal scheduled fee in Fedena. For example, I have a fee called, let's say, relief fund or picnic or a trip. So you have to click on add category and you will be prompted for the name of the category, like I've given picnic or trip. And when you click on it, you'll be asked to add particular like this. So what is the category? You can select that. What is the name of the particular and how much amount is there? So the full amount here would be 200 for picnic. And this instant fee can be taken from student, employee or a guest. So for example, let's say a cultural fest is happening in your institution. So the guests will also be coming to join in. In that case, you can use this module to take incomes from them. For example, let me do it for a student. So this is my student. And I can select what the student should be paying for, let's say picnic. So the particulars will appear like this. And I can pay the fees for the student. So this is about instant fee. Let me tell you about another plugin in finance, which is Tally. So Tally is a software, financial software that many of the institutions are using. Now, whenever you make a transaction using Fedena, be it paying of the fees or approving of the salary of the employees or taking instant fee or taking transport fee, library fee, and so on, you can sync that with the Tally software that you're already using. So you have to do some settings and general settings here. And you have to give the URL of the Tally where you have installed Tally along with the port number the way I have given here. And if you want to sync it live, in the sense whenever you are doing a transaction in Fedena, the same should be affected in your Tally at the same time. So in that case, you can check this enable live sync. If you do not want to enable live sync, you have options here to manually sync it. So you can go to manual sync, set the start and end date, and schedule the syncing. Or you can even bulk export the data. So you can take the data from the Fedena in the form of Excel sheet and feed it in your Tally. And you can even see the failed syncs here. So after you've done these syncing settings, you can go to organizations. And these organizations, the company name that you see here is the same as you might be using in Tally. Similar is the case with voucher type and accounts. So the three settings, which are organizations, voucher types, and accounts, should be same as in your Tally. Then you can create ledgers. So let me show a ledger that I've already created. For example, I've created a ledger called employee salary. and I'm selecting the company voucher and account as in my tally, and I'm checking salary from here, meaning that whenever a transaction is happening on salary in Fedena, or whenever a member of finance is approving salary in Fedena, the same will be reflected in your tally under employee salary ledger. So like this, you can create ledgers particular to each model that you just saw. So this is about tally. The next plugin that I'm going to tell you about is Poll. So for Poll, we can go to Collaboration and Poll. And here I can click on New Poll to create a new poll. So polling is used when you want to take an opinion of the set of users on a particular topic. So you can give the question here, you can give the description and the possible answers that the target user should be able to select from. If you want the target users to be able to answer anything else besides the options that you've already given, you can check this. And you can make it open for polling, so the users will be able to see this question and will be able to answer it. And you can select the members, the targeted users from here. And you can post the poll. Once you do that, the user will be getting the poll by the name of it. And when he clicks on it, he'll be able to select one of the answers or write his own answer if you have given that option. So he can vote for it. Once he has voted, the admin will be able to see the result of the poll like this. So it shows the total number of votes. It shows which option has how many votes, and the analysis like this. So this is about the poll plugin in Fedena. The next one that we are going to see is placement. So we can go to academics, we can go to placement. And here, first let me tell you what is placements. Placements is used when some companies are coming in your institution and they want to recruit the students for jobs. So in that case, you can announce placements, set the date of interviews or tests, paste the job description, invite the students, approve their attendance on the day of placement, and let them know whether they are placed or not, or declare their results. So this is briefly about the placements. Let me show you one. So you can announce new placement by clicking on this, give the name. So let's say this is the name of the company, the date on which placement is happening. Let me change it back to today. And here I can paste the job description of this company. So I'm creating this placement event, and now I need to invite the students. So that is the next step. So I can select the batch, select the students, and let's say there's one more batch. So these students are already selected. Let me select another batch. Let us say this is the one. I can select them again here, and you will observe that they get added automatically here. So I can invite the students of more than one batch like this. And once this is done, I can log in as one of the students. Let me just see the admission number of the student. So I've logged in as a student. I can go to academics. I can go to placement, and I will see the relevant placement here. So this is the one that I just created. I can click on it, and I can view the invitation. So here the job description will be appearing. It shows what is the date on which the interviews and the tests will be happening, and I can apply for it. So once I've applied, let me log in back as an admin. So I can go to placement, and I can click on this placement and view the registrations from here. And here you will see for this employee who just applied for the placement, you are getting this link here. Either I can approve it or reject it. So let me approve it. When you approve it, since today was the placement that I've set, you will see this link here of attended against the student. So let's say this Edward student has attended this placement. So I can click on it. And now when I've marked him attended, I can either approve his placement or reject it. Approving means the student is placed or he is recruited by the company. So I'm declaring result here. And the student will be able to see placed as the status when he logs in. So this is about the placement module in Fedena. Now there's one more option that is interesting, which is you can archive this event. Let's say today was this placement drive that is happening. So I can archive it so that it doesn't appear in the active placements. So once I archive it, you will see that it will not be appearing in the active placements. So placement drive SD is no longer appearing here. I can see that in archived placement only. The next plugin that I'm going to tell you about is tasks. So we can go to collaboration, we can go to task. So as an administrator of Fedena or as anyone with task management privilege, I'll be able to assign tasks to the employees or the students. So I'll get this option here, new task. So let me take a scenario here. So let's say the teachers are supposed to submit report by the end of the month, which is the analysis report about the progress of the students. So the managers of those teachers or the supervisors of those teachers can create task or assign task to the teachers. So here, let me say it is report submission for the month of, let's say, Feb. And I can give the description here. Of course, a proper description. And if the description is longer, I can even choose to attach a file. And then let's say this has to be done by the English department. So all these employees are appearing, and I've assigned this task to these employees. And the start and end date can be changed. And I can save it. Once I do this, let me log in as one of the employee now. I'm just checking the employee ID. So the employee, just let me change the password. So this employee has to go to collaboration and tasks. And here you will see that under task assigned to me, he's going to get the task that is just assigned. And on clicking on it, he will be able to see the details. It shows the due date, it shows the status, and he can post an update in form of description, or he can even choose to attach a file. So let's say he's posting his completed task, he's posting an update, and now the one who assigned this task will be able to see the update. So I'm going to click on this, and you will see that I'm getting the update which is done by one of the employees, and I can mark this task as completed if I find the update to be satisfying. So it is marked as completed. So this is about task management plugin in Fedena. The next plugin that we are going to see is discussion. So let me log in as an admin, and I can go to collaboration and discussion. So discussion, unlike blog, in discussion we can create groups with a set of users. So it is not applicable to all the users in Fedena. So you can click on this create group, and for example, let's create a group called Spanish Learning, and biology department employees should be able to participate, and let's say grade 1 should be able to participate. So all these employees will be able to participate in Spanish Learning. So I have an option to select here, unlike blog. So once I create this discussion, it will be appearing here like this, Spanish Learning. And all the members will be appearing. Since I'm one of the members, I'm getting an option here to create a post inside this discussion. So I can give a title, I can give a description, I can even choose to upload a file or an image. And I can even comment on the post which is already created by someone, like here. So when I click on it, it'll get open, and I can add a comment. So this is about discussion. The next plugin that we are going to see is Document Manager. So we can go to Collaboration, and we can go to Documents. And here you will see this option Create, which will be there only for the administrator of Fedena or anyone with Document Manager privilege. Let me click on this Create, and you will see that the admin has 4 options. The first one is to share a document. So I can click on Document here and share a document with a department or a set of employees or a batch or both. He can give the name of the document, attach that document, and submit it. Once this is done, the logged in employee will be able to see the shared document under Shared Docs. So this link that you will see here, it will show you the document that is shared by you. So this is about Shared Docs. Then you have Share a Folder. So here you are creating the same thing as you just did, but here we are selecting a set of files or sharing a set of files and giving that folder a name. And again, we can share it with the employees or the students or both of them together. So again, these employees or these students will be able to see that under Shared Docs as a folder, because it is shared with them. The third option that you will see here is Privileged Docs. So it is like you want to create a folder and allow the employees to be able to upload in that folder. So I can give the folder a name. I can select the employees. And all these employees that I've selected will be able to upload documents inside this folder. And they are going to get that option under Privileged Docs. The next option that we have is User-Specific Docs. So here, For example, I can create a folder called previous educational docs for a particular batch, and this folder is applicable to student and is active. This means that this folder that I've just created, I'll be able to put documents for each student separately. So let me show you how to do that. I can go to user docs option here, search the student, so this is the student, and you will see the 3 docs, user specific docs that I've already created are appearing. Let me click on one of them and I can add documents which are specific to ME user 10. So similarly, let me choose a file and show you. Let's say I have this file. So for this ME, this user ME, I have uploaded a document report which is specific to this user. So let's say I have another student which is user 11. Now you will see that the same folder is empty for this user. So this is user specific. I can again add documents which are specific to this user. So this is about Document Manager plugin in Fedena. The next one is Google Doc. So when you enable Google Doc plugin, you will see this link here, which is Google Docs. And as per your login, it is going to show you the Google Docs. So either you can delete it or download them. Let me tell you what that means. I've logged in as an admin, so I can go to my profile by clicking here, and you will see this personal email ID. Now it is syncing the Google Drive of this email ID with Fedena. So what all documents I have in the Google Drive of this ID will be appearing when I go to Collaboration, Google Docs. And whatever changes you make here will be reflected in Google Drive and vice versa. So this is about Google Docs. The next plugin that we are going to see is Email Alert. So you will see this option here, Email. Before using this Email Alert, there is one important setting that has to be done in your account. So again, you have to go to Company. You will see here Email, and you will see here an option to add email details. These email details should be taken by a third-party provider in your country. So he's going to give you these details as per his SMTP settings, and you can save them. Once these details are entered properly and are verified, you can come here and go to Settings. And here you will see these options. So these options are when automatic email will be sent from Fedena to the personal mail ID of the students or the employees or the parents as checked by you here. For example, whenever examination result is published, in this case, both the student and the parent will be getting a mail on their personal mail ID. So you can check to whom you want to send the mail from here. You can even manually send email to the personal mail IDs of the users by going to employees, students, or guardians. So let me show you for employees. You can select the department, select the employee, mention the subject, mention the message, and click on send. So as the personal mail ID of Anita, in the personal mail ID of this employee, she's going to get a mail with this subject and this message. And there is extra option that the students will be getting when you send an email to the students, either automatically or manually. That option is to unsubscribe. So the student can unsubscribe from the mails from Fedena. If he's doing that, the admin can view the unsubscription list from here and can subscribe them back. So this is about the email alert plugin of Fedena. The next one is data export. So here you will see this link, data export. Now data export is used when you want to take backup of data from Fedena. So that backup you can get in the form of CSV or Excel or XML. So these options are available. And you can take export for attendance records, batch details, employee personal details, sub-student personal details, and so on. So all these options that you see here. But just note that this option of exporting any model is available only once in 30 days. The next plugin that we are going to see is custom report. So I can go to data and reports and I can go to custom report. And here let me show you a report that I've already created. Then I'll show you how it is created. So let's say I want to see the female staff or the female faculty of the institution. So this list is dynamic, meaning that whenever I'm adding an employee who is a female, it'll automatically get added here. But how did I create this list? To see that, now this list can be created for either employee or student as well. Let me show you for the employee. So to create this list, I've selected the criteria here as gender, and I've selected gender equals F, meaning that I want to see all the female staff in the list. And I've given the name here, female faculty. And now in that list, what all I want to see. So let's say I want to see the first name, I want to see the employee number, marital status, and these can be selected from here and they can even be arranged like this. So this is how the custom report can be generated for the employee or the student. The next plugin that we are going to see is custom import. So for that, we can go to data and reports and we can go to custom import. And here, custom import is used when you want to feed in data bulk in Fedena. Meaning that you already have data in Excel sheets that are maintained by your institution. You can change it as per the template that will be generated by Fedena, and you can feed that data into Fedena. So you can click on new here and you can do data import for all these models that you see. For example, all the employee data, all the student data, guardian data, and so on. You can give the name. So let's say I want to import student data for quarter 3. I can select the model as student admission, and I also want passport to be entered in the Excel sheet. So that option is appearing here, and I can click on export CSV to get the template that is automatically generated by Fedena. I can open this template. and you will see that these columns are appearing. And this template can be filled in and fed back into Fedena. So here you will get this option, import data. Once you've filled in that template, you can choose that file and upload it. Please note few things before uploading. The first thing is that you do not have to change the headers of the template. You cannot add new columns. The template has to be as it is. You only have to add the rows of data and then upload it in Fedena. Once you've done that, you can even see the status of the upload by going to Imports option here. So you can see it shows the success or the failure status. You can even view more details by going to Import Log Details, and it is showing for the row number whether it is a success or a failure in Excel sheet. So if it is a failure, you can upload that particular row again. So this is about custom import that can be done for other models as well. The next plugin that we are going to see is applicant registration. So we can go to academics, we can go to applicant registration. And here you will see that I can open courses for application so that the students can apply for it. So the use of applicant registration is that the students can apply for courses online. But for that, the admin has to open the course for registration. So he can go to Manage Courses and he can click on Add Course. He can select the course which he wants to open for registration. This minimum score is the minimum score of the student as in the last course that is attended by him. Like for here, in grade 6, the student should have scored minimum 23 marks to be able to apply to grade 7. So the admin will be getting a warning in this case, and he can either bypass the warning or reject the student based on that. Then the option to select subject-based registration is available. It means, do you want the students to be able to select their own elective subjects? So if that is the case, you can select it as active. So in this case, the student will be prompted to select the elective subjects. The next option that will automatically appear is student-based collection. Meaning that, do you want the student to pay the amount based on the elective that he has selected? If that is the case, you can select it active, and based on the number of elective that he is selecting, the amount will be updated accordingly. Otherwise, if you make this inactive, you can set a fixed amount. So irrespective of what electives is he selecting, he always has to pay 200 as the applicant registration fee. Then is active means, is this course active so that the students can apply for it? So you can check that here. Enable approval system means, will this form or anyone who is applying for grade 7, will the form of that student will be going for the approval of the admin? So you can check that as active or inactive. Do you want the student to enter the additional details. So you can check that here. And then the student will be able to attach documents. So if you want to take documents from the student, you can ask him to attach it. And once the registration is approved by the admin, they will be transferred to his profile in Fedena. So let's say I have a course which is grade 6 and I have put it online so that the students can register for it. So here, one more option you will observe when I created the course, you will see here is PIN system enabled. PIN system enabled is an option that you can make active or inactive. If you make it active, in that case, the student will be prompted for a PIN or a security code to be able to enter into the admission form and fill it. So in this case, anyone will not be able to apply for the course, but only the students whom you give a unique PIN. So now let's say I've created this course which is grade 6 and the PIN system is enabled for grade 6. In that case, you have to go to settings and you have to create pins by going to manage pins. Click on new and select the validity of the pin. By default, it is a month. Give the name. Let's say I can give a meaningful name. Give the pin count, whether the pins are active, and for what batch do you want to use these pins for. So for grade 6, these 5 pins are generated and the students who want to apply for grade 6 should be given this pin number. So let's say I'm one of the students, I'm given this pin number, and the second important thing that they should be given is the URL of Fedena School /register, which is automatically enabled. So this link will automatically be enabled, which is the name, the URL of your school /register, and the student will be able to see the course. He will be prompted for PIN, and once if the PIN is correct, he'll be able to see the admission form. I can enter the details as a student. I'm filling in the mandatory details, but of course the student will be filling in all the details here. And you will see that here total payable amount is 50. So let's say I have set a fixed amount for the applicant registration. So it is always 50 in this case. I can even choose to attach attachments like address proof or ID proof or previous education documents. And since I've checked transfer attachments while allotting, the same will be available in the profile of the student after this is approved by the admin. So now the student can either pay the fees using online method, or he can print the application and take it to the admin, and admin can take the fees in form of cash or any other payment mode. So let me go back as an admin now. I will be getting this link here, view applicants, and I can see that this is the student that has just applied. The status is pending. The applicant registration fees is not paid. So I can click on it and I can see the full details as filled by the student. And you will see here I'm getting a warning as an admin that the student is not academically cleared. So I can mark him academically cleared. And let's say the student is paying me this 50 amount by the payment method. I can mark him paid, and the last step is to put him in a batch because grade 6 had 3 batches, so I need to say which batch the student will be going into. And once this is done, you will see that I can go to academics, I can go to students, student details, and search for the student. You can see it is now there in Fedena. And under registration docs, if I would have attached any documents, they'll be transferred here. So this is about the applicant registration plugin. The next plugin that we're going to see is hostel. So we can go to administration, we can go to hostel. And here I can create a new hostel by clicking on add hostel. I can give the name of the hostel, whether it is common for only males or females, and any other information I can attach. So all the hostels will appear like this. Now for the hostel, I can even create wardens. So the hostel caretaker, so I can go to manage warden, and I can add warden, select the department of the employee who I want to assign as a warden, select the employee and save it. I can have more than one wardens for the hostels. So once this is done, I can add rooms by going to rooms here and clicking on add room, selecting the hostel for which I want to add. Room number can be given. So let's say this is the starting room number, and there will be 2 students in each room. The rent they should be paying is 1,000. Number of rooms should be 2. It means P01 is one room, P02 is another room, and 4 students in both the rooms together, and each student has to pay 1,000 as the amount. So here I can save it, and you will see for this hostel, which is H1, I have a lot of other rooms as well. Let me go to the end. You will see these are the 2 rooms that I just created. So P01, P02, because I've given the count as 2, so this automatically gets created. So this way I can enter the rooms. The next step is I have to allocate rooms. Before this, let me tell you about manage hostel additional details. So if you've done employee admission in Fedena, and if you've done student admission in Fedena, you might have seen student add admission details as one of the link, and similarly for the employee. Same is the use of this add hostel additional details here. So while entering or while creating the hostel, if I want to take some additional information, for example, total number of rooms in that hostel, so I can create that field here. And whenever I'm entering a hostel, or whenever I'm creating a hostel, you will see that this option appears. So I'm just creating custom fields. Same is the case with manage room additional details. So you can create that field here, and whenever you're adding a room, you will be getting that field to be filled. So the next step is room allocation. So you have to search the student, and the hostel will appear as per the gender of the student, and I can allocate the student the room. And then I can assign fee collection to the student. So that can be either batch-wise or user-wise. Let me show you batch-wise. So here you have to allocate rooms to all the students. Once you've done that, their batches to which they belong will be appearing here, and you can create the fee collection. So let's say for G1A 2014, I can give the start date, end date, and the due date. After due date, fine will be applicable. So the collection is created. This is one way. The other way is user-wise. So that can be either from the existing collection. I can assign it to a new user who is joining. So let's say this was a collection, but there's a new student that is joining in this batch, which is G1A 2014. So I can assign him the same collection. So of course that user has to be a part of this batch. Then only he'll be appearing. I don't have a new student, so I'm not able to find him here. When you find him here, you can create that fee collection from him and you can collect it from him later on. The next option that you see here is create new fee collection. So you can create a new fee collection for that particular student as well. So these are the two options that are available. So once fee collection is creating, using either of the collections, you can collect the hostel amount from the student in two ways that you see here, which is hostel fee pay and pay student hostel fee. In hostel fee pay, you have to select the batch, you have to select the fee collection that is applicable, and the students will appear like this, and the rent that they have to pay. When you click on pay fee, the full receipt will appear and the fees can be paid. So this is one of the ways. And the second way is pay student hostel fee. So here we can search the student. And the same thing, we can click on it and we can select the collection that is applicable for the student and pay the fees. So these two ways are there in hostel, using which you can collect the fees from the student. Then you can see the report. So here it shows you the hostels, it shows you the type, the number of total rooms that are available, occupied rooms, the wardens. And when you click on any of the link here, you are going to get into more details. So here you will, for example, here you will see the room is allocated to 2 students and from different batches and what is the rent they are paying, and it can be either changed or they can vacate the hostel. So this room will become available again. We've already seen manage hostel additional details and manage room additional details. So this is about the hostel plugin. The next plugin that we are going to see is inventory. So we'll go to administration and we'll go to inventory. So inventory is used when you have stationery items that you sell in your institution. Or another example would be if you have a cafe in your school or a canteen or a pantry. So there's some settings that are to be done. First is you have to create the category of the store. You can give names like consumable items or classroom related items. So you just have to give a name here and a code. Then the type of the store. So I've created few types, again few names. And these two that we just created, with the store category and store type, will be asked in store. When I create a store here, you will see, let's say I've created a store called classroom inventory, which has dusters, which has chalks, markers, and so on. So I have to select the store type that I've already created, and I have to select the store category. I have to give a code, of course, which is a short form for this store, and the invoice prefix. Invoice prefix means that if I'm going to sell any item from this store, which is classroom inventory, I'm going to generate a bill which I'll be issuing to the buyer. In that bill, what is prefix of the invoice is to be mentioned. For example, let's say I give here CI as the invoice prefix. So for the first user whom I'm going to issue the item in classroom inventory, he'll be getting CI001 by default, another user CI002, and so on. So later on, I can search using invoices. So this is how I've added two stores. One is pantry and another one is classroom inventory. Now, of course, I have a store. I need to enter items in the store. Before that, I have to say what all item categories I have. For example, I've created a category called beverages, canned, and packed. So in this way, item categories can be created, and then I can store the items or put the items into my store now. So I have to click on this new option here, and I have to select the store in which I want to put the item. I have to give the name of the item, some code, the quantity. So how many quantity of this item is available in the store, what is the unit price, and when you bought the item, were you charged any tax on it? That can be mentioned. So any extra amount that you were charged besides the unit price. Then batch number. Batch number is the lot number in which the supplier has given you the item. And this batch number will be enhanced and will be able to search using the batch number later on. And then whether the item is sellable or not. It means from this store, can I sell that item? And if it is sellable, I need to select the category of the item. For example, for pantry, let's say I have chocolates as an item, quantity to be 10, some unit price, no tax, so I can mention 0 here. I can give some batch number, and it is sellable. I will be able to sell chocolates to the students or the employees or the parents. So I can check this, and I can select the category to be packed. So like this, I have already created few items in pantry. So these items are here. I have given them some batch numbers, quantity, unit price, and tax if applicable. Then I have to enter the supplier type and the supplier contact details in Fedena. So I can go to the supplier type and I can give relevant name. So let's say I have a stationery supplier here. So I've given it the name stationery supplier and just a code. So these are the supplier types. And then I'm entering the actual supplier details here. For example, there's some marker supplier or stationery supplier. The name is this, what is the contact details, and other details regarding the supplier can be entered and they can be referred to later on. So now these settings are generally done by the admin or anyone with inventory basic privilege. As an employee, if I've been given raising indents privilege, I'll be getting this option of indents. Let me just tell you what indents is. Intent is raising a request for an item that is non-sellable. For example, as an employee, I want to get chalks in the class, or I want to get dusters or markers, so I can raise a request for it with admin. And please note that anyone who has a manager, any employee who has a manager will only be able to raise an indent because the request will be approved by the supervisor or the manager. So that employee has to log in and he'll be getting this option here of indents only. He can click on that. If he has a manager, he'll be able to access it and he can click on new. Indent number is automatically generated. He can select the store from which he wants the item. He can select the date when he wants it. and what is the description of the item that he wants. He can select the item, he can fill in the required field, he can see what is the available quantity, issue type, temporary or permanent. This is only for record keeping. Unit price, batch number will automatically appear. Again, this will later on help us to search this item details. I can even add another item by clicking on Add Item if I want to request for it as an employee. So once this indent is created, let's say I have logged in as the manager of this employee who raised this indent request. So I will get this link again, which is indents, and I will see this option here to either accept it or reject it. You can see this is the indent. The status is pending. When I click on accept, I can either issue it or reject it. So let me approve this request of this employee. So once I do this, if I go to store items and go to classroom inventory, you will see that the quantity is reduced to 160. It was earlier 161 because one request of duster for an employee is approved by the manager. So this is about indents. Now let's say as the store officer, you want to maintain the quantity of the items in the store. Since one duster is issued to an employee, as a store manager, I want to maintain the quantity and take it back to 161, which means I'll have to raise an order, purchase order with the supplier. To be able to raise purchase order like indent, I again should have a manager or a supervisor who can approve my request. So I'll click on new here and I can enter the purchase order number, which is automatically appearing. It can be custom added as well. I can select the store in which I want to request for the item. I can select the supplier from whom I want it, purchase order date, any reference. So if anyone else, any other person is pointing this purchase order request to you, you can enter that name here or the contact details. And then you can select the item that you want and what is the quantity that you want for it. I can add more items from here. So once this purchase order is created, again, let's say I've logged in as a manager of the employee who is raising this purchase order. I'm going to get this link here to either issue it or reject it, similar to what we did for indent. Let's say the purchase order is approved by the manager. Now in the same flow, the next step is goods receipt number. It means that from the supplier to whom I've put the request of purchase order, I've actually got the item. So I'm going to generate GRN or goods receipt note. So I'll click on new here. All the approved purchase orders will be coming, and this is the one that I just requested for and got approved. The invoice number as given to you by the supplier has to be mentioned here. The invoice date as given to you by the supplier has to be mentioned here, and any other applicable charges has to be mentioned. And I can save it to acknowledge that I've got the good with me. If I go to store items now, you will see that quantity is again back to 161 because I've received the goods receipt note for one duster. The next important functionality of inventory is billing, where we can sell items. So the stores in which I have sellable items will be appearing. I can issue it to the student or the parent of the student or the employee. So let's say this is the student. the name and address as in the profile of the student will automatically appear. Now what is the item that you want to issue? So you have to write the first 3 letters of that item here, and the other details will automatically fill in. You can mention the additional charges that you want to take from the student in case any, and discounts if you wish to give to the student. And if paid option would mean that the student is paying you there and then, and you will not be able to edit this invoice later. So you can check that in this case. When you click on print, you'll be able to see the full invoice. It can be given to the student. And also note the invoice number, which is PAN010. It means for the pantry, I might have given the invoice prefix to be PAN. And it is the 10th invoice that I'm generating, so 010. Then we have some reports. For a particular duration, I can see the report of the indents. And I can click on it for more details. Sales reports. Let's see item-wise report. So for this store, for beverages, what all items I have sold can be searched from here. And I can even select the status. So who all have unpaid bills for this store for this duration will be appearing here. So the reports can be explored more. So this is about the inventory plugin. Let me move on to library now. So we can go to Academics and we can go to library. So in Fedena, we can do functionality like we can add books in library. We can issue the books to the students, reissue the books, return the issue books, see the movement log, so what all books have been issued for today or returned for today. Take the fines from the student. So let's see that. You have to go to Manage Books and click on Add Books to be able to add books in Fedena. Again, custom import is another option that is available for library that can also be used. So here you can see the book edition mode to be either general or by barcode. So if you have barcode reader, that can be plugged in, and it works with plugin and play functionality. So you do not need a third-party application here. You just have to read the barcode of the book and it will automatically appear with all the details here for that book. So for now, I'm going to use the general method. I can give the book number. I can give some title. I can give some author here. And the tags associated to the book. Meaning that later on, I can search this book using tags. I can also create my custom tags, one or more, separated by a comma, and I can give the number of copies of this book here. And you will see the additional details like we have done for hostel, we have done for employee, student are appearing here. So if you want to take the price of the book, you can mention that here. Age group for whom it is applicable can be mentioned. ISBN can be mentioned. Again, these additional details I've created by going to Manage Book Additional Details. So they are appearing. So let me show you where the books are created. I'm going to Manage Books and I'm going till the end because I have a lot of books here. So we'll see these 3 copies, A61 to A63, are the ones that I just added, and the status is available. Then we can search for a book. These 5 options are available. Again, if you have a barcode reader, you can search using that. You can search by the tag as well. Then we can issue the books to the student. So if I know the book number or again the barcode, I can mention that here. The book title will appear. I have to click on that and I can issue the book to the student or the employee. So I can select that. The details will appear here. Issue date and due date can be changed. I can reissue the book by going to book renewal, searching the book number, and here you will see that due date is editable. I can edit it. Then the book can be returned. Again, search the book by the book number or the barcode. And here return option is coming. In case the due date of the book is exceeded, one more field will be appearing here, which is fine amount, library fine amount that can be entered by the librarian. And he can click on return and that fine will be added as an income in finance reports under library. Then we have movement log. So it shows what is the status of the books for today, for a particular date. Then we can manage the barcode of the book. So let's say while I enter the book, I did not use the barcode method. So these are the books. So now I want to attach these books or associate them with a barcode. So I can write those barcodes here. And then throughout the application, I'll be able to search these books using the barcode now. Then we can see the library fines for a particular duration that are collected. So let's say for this duration, these are the users who have paid this much amount as library fine and on this date. Then we can see the tags. We can edit them by clicking on them. We can even delete them. We can see the books that are tagged for that tag. So this is fully about the library module. Let me tell you about online exam now. We can go to academics, examination, and we'll see the link here of online exam. And here we can create a new online exam. So online exam is used when you want to take the pre-test or the post-test of the students, or you want to take quizzes, assignments. But please note that the result of online exam will not be reflected in the other exam management here, meaning that you will see here report center, exam management. So these modules are independent of online exam. Online exam will have its own separate report. So let me create a new online exam. And we can make it particular to a subject. So let's say I want to take this online exam for this batch for Italian. So if there are students, since this Italian is an elective subject, let me select another one which has students assigned. Let's say for social science. I can select the applicable students. I can give the start and end date. Let it be today. What is the duration of this online exam? I can give it a name. and the exam format, meaning that it will only have objective questions or both objective and descriptive. If they are descriptive questions, there has to be some evaluator who can evaluate it. We can assign more than one evaluator as well. So we need to mention the pass percentage as well. This means that anyone who is scoring less than 20 in this exam will be marked as fail, and above 20 will be marked as pass. So once we create it, we can add in questions to this online exam. So let me add some questions. We have to give the maximum mark for this question, and the subject will appear. What is the format of the question? Since we've selected hybrid, it is giving two options, and we can give here options. We have to mark one of the options as an answer in objective questions because Fedena is going to evaluate objective questions for the student. Then let me create a descriptive question. I have to select descriptive here, give the maximum marks for this question, and create it. So the full exam looks like this. And here, I can publish the exam so that the students will be able to to attend this exam. So let me log in as one of the students. I'll just see the student ID. So the student can go to academics and online exam, and he will see the exam that is scheduled for him, and he can click on it and click on go, and he'll be able to see the details. He can start the exam, and it's going to open like this. So you can see it shows the details, the time left, the questions, and they can be marked by the student. Descriptive questions have to be answered, and once it is finished by the student, the evaluator has to log in and evaluate the descriptive question. So this evaluator has to go to examination and evaluate online exams, and he can evaluate. Click on this evaluate, select the batch, and the student who has attended, he can click on evaluate, and based on the answer, he can give him marks. Once it is done, he can publish the result so that the student is able to see. So let me log in back as a student. Student can go to academics, online exam, and view results. And here you can view the answer sheet. You will also see that the status is shown as passed or fail as per the marks that we've set here, the qualifying marks that we've set while creating this exam. So this is about online exam plugin in Fedena. The next plugin that we are going to see is transport. We can go to administration and here transport. and we can create routes. We can add a route. Now these three fields that you see here, which is destination, cost and main route, will be appearing always, and this distance from school is a custom created school. Like we were able to do for hostel, employee and student, we can even do that for transport by going to manage route additional details. So I've created this field called distance from school, so it is appearing when I'm adding a route. Similarly, manage vehicle additional details. We'll see this. I've created this field called driver. So I want to take the driver details as well while I'm creating a vehicle. So let me go to set routes and let's understand what is setting routes in transport. So it's like from your school or from your institution, there is a vehicle that is going to, let's say, endpoint A. So the destination should be here, endpoint A. And the fare, the ticket fare, let's say it is 100. And when you are creating the destination, do not select main route. For the first time, you have to create the destination, and then you can create points between the destination and your institution. So do not select anything in main route and give the distance from school as per what it is. So let's say it is 12 kilometers and I can save it. So we've added this route. In this way we can add other routes. Let me add one more route. Let's say there is a point A which is between your school and endpoint A. And of course the cost will be lesser. So let's say it is 20 and the distance is, let's say, 2. So I'm adding another route. So in this way all the points between your school or the institution and the destination has to be added. Once you've done this, you can add vehicles. You have to click on add vehicle. It'll ask you for the vehicle number, the route that it is following. So endpoint A, it means till where this vehicle is going. What are the number of seats, driver details. So these are the details, additional details that I've created. These can be entered, and driving license number for this driver can be entered for Okay, since I'm editing it, I'm not adding a new one. It is not allowing me to, since I've already assigned students in this vehicle. I've already allotted students in this vehicle. Let me add a new one. I can select the main route to be endpoint A. Number of seats can be set. Driver can be set. And the license number. So this way I've added a vehicle. Now I can assign student to the transport by going to transport, and I can assign either student or the employee. So this transport module is applicable to both the students and the employees. So I can search the student and click on assign. I have to select the route where the student will get down, what is the vehicle, and what is the fare. This fare can also be edited here for this particular student. The same can be done for employee as well. Now I have to collect the fees, and you will see it is similar to what we saw in hostel. We can again have it batch wise. So schedule it batch wise, or we can have it user wise. So either from an existing one in a particular batch, we can assign it to the student, or we can create a new collection altogether. So this is similar. I hope it is clear. This is similar to what we did in hostel. Then we can pay the fees by searching the student. So if the fee collection is assigned to the student, it will appear here. And similar to hostel, I can get the receipt and I can pay the fees. I can see the list of defaulters. I can see the report, so all the vehicles, number of seats, available seats, what is the end point, the destination. On clicking on it, I can see the other details, so who have occupied the vehicle. So this is fully about transport. The last plugin that we have for today is Form Builder. So we can go to Administration. We can go to Collaboration and we can go to Forms. And the use of Form Builder is that we can take feedback from the users. So it can again be employees or students or both. We can create public forms. We can create private forms. For example, we want to take a survey. We want to take a feedback of a teacher for a particular subject. That can be created. So first we have to create the form template. So we can give a name here. Let's say I have this as a feedback form for the academic year 2014-15. Now I can drag and drop the questions that I want to have. And let's say I have dragged single line text. I'll click on it. I'll say whether the field is mandatory or not. What is the question? I can give some description. And the user will be prompted to enter some data here. Let me add another field. Let's say it's a radio button. I can make it mandatory. Let me make it as, again, communication skills. Here I can give options. I can add more options and I can attach weight to the option. More weight means more is the priority of that option. So for the feedback forms, I can take analysis. There I'll be able to see how many users have marked good option. How many users have marked average option. So I can take that analysis. So that is where weightage will be helpful. More the weightage, more will be the analysis for that option. So I can add one more field here. I can click on it. I can give options again. Weightages. So this way I can create this template, save it. Once I save this template, I'll be able to use it by going to Form Templates and Use. So all the templates are appearing that I've already created. I can give the name of the form. Now the form can either be public, private, or feedback. Public means it will be available for all the users. So you will not be asked to select target audience. Private means you have to select the recipients. And feedback form means you can make it targeted to few employees and you can ask few other employees to be able to fill that form. For example, let's say for English department, I want for Flexi and this employee, the students of batch G1A 2014 should be able to give feedback. And it can again be either for student or parent or both of them. So what I've done here is I'm creating English teacher feedback form for these two teachers, and these are the students who will be able to mark against these two teachers. So let me show you that. So let me log in as one of the students now. And I can go to collaboration, forms. And under forms, feedback forms, I can see the forms that are shared with me. And you will see I'm able to select the target, meaning that for whom I want to give this feedback. Will it be for this employee or this employee? And I can mark the options. And similarly, I can do for another target. And this can be done by other users as well for whom this form is meant. And then let me go to Form Builder again. And under Manage Forms, I'll be able to see all the forms that I've created. Under Forms, I'll be able to see the forms that are applicable only to me. So mainly the public forms. Feedback forms will show the feedback forms that are shared with me. So I am one of the participants. So this is about the Form Builder plugin in Fedena. So we are done with all the plugins that we have in Fedena. Now I'm going to start taking your questions. Please mention your questions in the chat.